Their promises dressed in perfumes and lies, let them come. We were taught to praise the chains that choked us, taught that independence was a gift wrapped in empty ballot boxes. Our flags are stitched from wounds, our anthems hum with hunger. A land that dances to the drumbeat of silence, where Anglophone children spell injustice before they know the alphabet, where ballots sometimes vanish like truths in the wind, where promises fill the air like gas before an explosion. A land that even bees wears a camouflage uniform, and democracy is a whispered rumor, scared to speak its own name. The time has come again. Africa is not dying. Africa is being suffocated by her own sons who drink from the calabash of power, then piss on their own people. We are ruled by men who speak of God, while devouring their own children. And you ask us why we rage, why our mouths spit metaphors soaked in fire. Because we have seen dreams butchered in boardrooms, seen justice kidnapped for ransom, seen hope leashed at dawn. But still we stand, still we rise, still we spit truth into microphones like it's our only weapon. This is not just another election. This is not just about ink on fingers. This is not just about blood. This is about blood on pavements, about mothers whispering names of sons who disappeared before they could say change. We do not vote for names. We vote for the future we are willing to bleed for. We vote for classrooms instead of prisons, for leaders who do not run from questions. We vote so that our children can ask, what next? Instead of what happened. We will be waiting with our eyes open, with our tongues sharpened, and our spirits unshaken. We are wounded, yes. But this time, when the drums go silent, it will not be for mourning. It will be for listening. It would be for reckoning. It would be for rising. The time has come for history to rewrite itself. The rights and wrongs of the Fumban Conference, of John Ngute'S, Estimuna and Augustine Gumjoa. For politicians to shake hands while stepping on necks, chanting slogans like spell, unity in progress. But the people chant, we are tired. We are tired of lines with no ink, tired of cures for votes that don't count, tired of choosing between silence and bullets. Let them come. With their promises dressed in perfumes and lies, let them come. We were taught to praise the chains that choked us, taught that independence was a gift wrapped in empty ballot boxes. Our flags are stitched from wounds, our anthems hum with hunger. A land that dances to the drumbeat of silence, where Anglophone children spell injustice before they know the alphabet, where ballots sometimes vanish like truths in the wind, where promises fill the air like gas before an explosion. A land that even bees wears a camouflage uniform, and democracy is a whispered rumor, scared to speak its own name. The time has come again. Africa is not dying. Africa is being suffocated by her own sons who drink from the calabash of power, then piss on their own people. We are ruled by men who speak of God, while devouring their own children. And you ask us why we rage, why our mouths spit metaphors soaked in fire. Because we have seen dreams butchered in boardrooms, seen justice kidnapped for ransom, seen hope leashed at dawn. But still we stand, still we rise, still we spit truth into microphones like it's our only weapon. This is not just another election. This is not just about ink on fingers. This is not just about blood. This is about blood on pavements, about mothers whispering names of sons who disappeared before they could say change. We do not vote for names. We vote for the future we are willing to bleed for. We vote for classrooms instead of prisons, for leaders who do not run from questions. We vote so that our children can ask, what next? Instead of what happened. We will be waiting with our eyes open, with our tongues sharpened, and our spirits unshaken. We are wounded, yes. But this time, when the drums go silent, it will not be for mourning. It will be for listening. It would be for reckoning. It would be for rising.
Hello, good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to News Talk with yours truly, Chris Anu, coming to you as usual from the great state of Texas, precisely Houston, Texas. Thank you for joining the show today. This is going to be very, very illuminating, educative, and of course, very, very informative. Thank you for joining. If you know of others who would love to be here, to watch and to listen, especially if you are on ground zero, the Federal Republic of Ambazonia, please do me the favor, hit the share button if you are watching by way of Facebook or YouTube. Unfortunately, we are not yet back on the satellite, as I did announce last week. So if you are watching, you can only watch by way of the social media today. So hit the share button. Let those who have satellite join us on the social media to watch this very, very educative and informative show. Thank you for tuning in. For those of you joining from North America, South America, Asia, all of Africa, by again the way of social media. Thank you. Thank you. This is going to be very, very exciting. Please do not go away. I'm going to be right back. I will be right back.
Thrive America, the flagship model, offers personalized coaching and assistance to newly arrived individuals into the country through a concierge service and one-stop resource on your phone. The app supports essential areas of integration, such as job search strategies, benefits applications, financial literacy, credit repair, legal guidance, and more. The platform aims to become the go-to resource as you navigate the complexities of settling into a new country.
All right, once more, thank you for joining, ladies and gentlemen. Tonight, we're going to be looking at three issues. Number one, coming on live a few minutes ago, we learned of a major ambush in Muyenge, where Ambazonia restoration fighters laid ambush La République du Cameroon forces, and we are learning, again, I cannot confirm this, but we are learning that at least 20 Cameroon soldiers, occupying soldiers in Ambazonia, paid the supreme price in Muyenge. That was, we are told, late yesterday, breaking Monday morning in Muyenge. Muyenge, of course, is in the Fako County in the southern Cameroons or Ambazonia. I will be talking about that a little bit. And also, I will be talking on the subject of the Cameroon elections. Cameroon elections have been announced for October the 12th. That is just about 2 months to go. Cameroon is holding elections October the 12th, about 2 months to go. I'm going to be talking about that. But very important tonight, I bring you a very special piece of information. My monologue will focus on the fraud that is the United Nations so-called Development Program, UNDP. Now, last week when I came live, I brought the news of the shame that is called a stadium in Bamenda, reconstructed by, ladies and gentlemen, almost in its entirety with funds from the UNDP. How much did it cost to construct that sham of a stadium in Bamenda? You will be shocked. You will be shocked when you hear the figures. And these figures are not coming from, this figure isn't what the Cameroon government spent. We know that the Cameroon government is very much corruption prone. But when international organizations, an arm of the United Nations, begin to engage in the same kind of fraud and corruption and embezzlement that is tantamount to la République du Cameroon, it's a shame, and I'm going to reveal it to you tonight. It will be shocking for you to discover how much they put into the so-called stadium in Bamenda. And we are going to compare that stadium in Bamenda to the stadium in other places in la République du Cameroon, even in Ambazonia, for us to realize all this is all a window dressing. What happened in Bamenda was window dressing. And Dion Ngute'S, after listening to me today, should be ashamed of himself that he left Yaoundé, drove to Bamenda to inaugurate a fence, not a stadium. We don't call that a stadium. He went to Bamenda to inaugurate a 4-wall fence. You will realize if you've seen the images of that stadium in Bamenda, you realize there are no markings, not even markings are there. You cannot see the penalty area. You don't know the center area. You don't know the goalkeeper box. You cannot identify any of it. But you'll be shocked. You will be shocked to find out how much it costs. How much it costs to put on the so-called stadium. So please stay tuned. I will be right back with that information, starting with Ngute'S. Stay tuned, please.
Thrive America, the flagship model, offers personalized coaching and assistance to newly arrived individuals into the country through a concierge service and one-stop resource on your phone. The app supports essential areas of integration, such as job search strategies, benefits applications, financial literacy, credit repair, legal guidance, and more. The platform aims to become the go-to resource as you navigate the complexities of settling into a new country.
ABS can help you reach your target audience like never before. Advertising on ABS, you'll benefit from our extensive reach and dedicated viewership. We offer special advertising packages during primetime slots and popular shows. You'll also be featured on our social media platforms, reaching an even wider audience. Don't miss out on this opportunity. Take your business to the next level. Contact our advertising team at absafricativ@gmail.com.
All right, thank you for staying put there, ladies and gentlemen. I take you again to Ngute'S, where we are still following this developing story of an ambush in the Ngute'S. Ngute'S is again part of Fako County, and we are learning that late last night. Breaking Monday morning, Ambazonia restoration fighters in that community laid ambush on the French Cameroon invading soldiers We are told that, again, we cannot yet confirm this piece of information, but what we are getting is some blacklegs happen to have discovered the camp of Ambazonia restoration fighters within the premises or the community of Muyenge and leaked that information to La République du Cameroon soldiers who took advantage of the rainpour that poured last night in the community in Muyenge and came in over the night and tried to ambush the Ambazonian fighters. However, before they could arrive, the news of their arrival had already been leaked to the Ambazonian restoration fighters, who then set up their own ambush. They took positions in the bush, and when the La République du Cameroon soldiers appeared, they found themselves all surrounded by Ambazonian restoration fighters. And what we are told is the death toll is at least 20 of them. That is 20 Cameroon soldiers killed in Muyenge as of breaking this morning from late night Sunday. Again, that happened in Muyenge. We learned that the ambulance, they had to bring in ambulance trucks from Kumba, Moyoka, Victoria, Boya, and they were not even enough to pick up all the corpses of French Cameroon killed soldiers in Muyenge. And they came back, Cameroon soldiers came back, of course, in their normal habit, started picking up, arresting civilians, started picking up civilians. And we are told that so many civilians have been arrested between Moyoka and Muyenge. So that is the good news reaching us from Muyenge. We are trying to speak to our fighters over there when we get the full account, the full news of what happened there. If I get that news in the course of this show, of course, I will break it to you. But for now, that is the good news coming up from Muyenge. Over 20, or at least 20 French Cameroon occupying forces ambushed and killed in Muyenge by Ambazonia restoration fighters. What a wonderful, I think everybody out there should give the restoration fighters a thumb up on Facebook and YouTube if you can. That is what we are talking about. I don't understand how Dion, Ngute'S and the cronies can continue to say peace has returned, peace has returned. We're waiting for the videos, we're waiting for accurate reports, and again, when they come, when I lay hands on them, I will update you. And if should that happen in the course of this show, because I'm waiting for somebody to call from Muyenge or Fako to give us the exact account of what happened. But if you are in Moyoka, if you are watching from Moyoka and you have first-hand information, you know what happened there because you are in the vicinity, you are in the same vicinity with Muyenge. If you have first-hand information, or you are in Boya and you know you have information, you are in Kumba, you have information, let us know. Call the show and let me know what happened. What happened in the Muyenge with La République du Cameroon soldiers. So please, ladies and gentlemen, La République du Cameroon can continue to say, oh, no mercy is returning to the ground. All that we need to do in this conflict to get La République du Cameroon is to keep on fighting. That's all. And even if it means fighting only once a month, for as long as Ambazonia restoration fighters keep their arms and they are safe in their hideouts and come out as they do in Muyenge to track down those occupiers and get rid of them, La République cannot say it is over. It will only be over, the war being over, the conflict being over, can only be dictated. It can only be dictated. The end will only be dictated by Ambazonians, not by La République du Cameroon. They don't have the power to dictate the end of the war. They can propagate a certain peace, a certain normalcy that is never coming. But we Ambazonians, we can dictate. Only we can dictate an end to that war. And this is very important, so that if you are Ambazonian out there, and when I talk of Ambazonian, I mean in the independentists, Ambazonians who want to see their own freedom, their own independence, their own country. If you are out there and you support a free and independent Ambazonia, listen, these are the kind of boys we need to support to make sure fire stays on the ground. Fire stays in Fako, fire stays in Bui, as we see on a daily basis. Fire stays in Ngute'S, fire stays in the Boyo, fire stays in Libialam. Ladies and gentlemen, it stays in Donga Mantung, stays in Menchum, all these places. La République thought they were going to, crush us in 2 weeks, 2 cubes of sugar. 9 years. 2 more months. I think 1 more month. 2 more months to be 9 years. August, September, October will make it exactly 9 years. Who says we are losing? Who says we are losing? We are not going to lose this, ladies and gentlemen. I appeal to you. If you are in the diaspora and you have been sitting, in the fringes and saying, oh, the war is lost, the struggle is lost, I don't understand how people can stay in the diaspora and just continue to wave their hands. Oh, the struggle is lost. Oh, nothing is coming. Ladies and gentlemen, I have not seen an independence war that was fought for months or fought for less than 5 years. If you know of one, let me know. If you know of any independent struggle that lasted for 1 year, 2, 3, 4, 5, even 10 years, show me. Show me. Ambazonia has made tremendous progress. Ambazonia has made tremendous progress. If Cameroon, the challenge is theirs. The honest is theirs. If they want the world to believe, no mercy is returning, ladies and gentlemen. If they want the world to believe, no mercy is returning to that country. How about freeing the political prisoners to further confirm that no mercy is back? And so we don't need to keep any more people behind bars. Release the political prisoners. Lose them, set them free. Then the world will believe you that indeed no mercy has returned. You cannot continue to pick up people, arrest them, put them behind bars without trial, and keep others in bars, sending them to military tribunals, and you want the world to believe that no mercy is returning. How do you arrest people in times of no mercy? So Ambazonians, we must make sure we continue to support these fighters on the ground. They are the lifeline of this struggle. When they do things like the ones we are reporting in Munyenge, in Bui, all over the place in Ambazonia, we have to stand behind them. And let me say this. A few years ago, I used to hear the word, the last man standing, the last man standing, the last man standing. You who are supporting this war, this conflict, this struggle at this moment, you are the true last man standing. Be counted. If you want to say, if you don't tell me that you still support the struggle, but this, but that. We're not going to win it with our mouths. I think if we could win it with our mouths, I probably would win it all by myself. I think so. We will not win it with our mouths, with good ideas. Absolutely not. We will win it with money. With money, material resources, in the hands of those boys in the bushes who have given out all, sacrificed all, sleeping in the bushes under the rain and under the sun, just so that all of us, including you and your family, may be free. So please, let's not forget that. I will take a brief break, and when I come back, I'm going to take you into the political game inside La République du Cameroon. I will take you into the political game inside La République du Cameroon. Cameroon, you will recall, has announced, they have announced a presidential and legislative elections for October 12th. And we are hearing a lot of noise out there asking Ambazonians to seize the opportunity, open the territory, let voting take place in Ambazonia. And when I come back, I'm going to tell you the reason why that voting will not take place in Ambazonia. Stay put. Are you planning a convention for your cultural or development association this summer? Let the world see it live. ABS Africa TV will bring your story straight from the diaspora to your villages and towns, so your people back home can experience every dance, every speech, and every proud moment as it happens. With professional coverage, global broadcast reach, and real-time streaming, ABS TV turns your event into a celebration that transcends borders. Don't let your hard work go unseen. Put your convention on the map. For booking and inquiries, please email us at absafricatv@gmail.com. Again, absafricatv@gmail.com. Or for WhatsApp purposes, send us a text at the number 346-504-3666. ABS Africa TV. We are bridging culture and connecting generations.
We are Cameroonian. This is our nation. This is the only area that we can claim to be home. And this is our home. And we have to take care of it. There are some problem, no problem. We have to brainstorm. We have to sit around the table, listen to each other. We can disagree or agree, it doesn't matter. The fact that we can meet, sit together, and have each of us express himself freely. This is a big blessing.
That's true, very important.
And as I said, this is home. We will never accept the destruction of the home.
I agree with you on that.
We have to be the protector and the maker of our nation at any given time, no matter what. It is possible to find a common and acceptable and workable solution. I'm open. I am open. In my party, I am open. You are welcome.
Thank you.
C'est un plaisir immense.
We will talk about that openness in the party.
Thank you.
Yes, you said let's come and see.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, you were listening there to Isa Chiroma and Agbo Bala, Agbo Nkongo Bala. I guess the Cameroon politicians are reaching out to every Ambazonian. Of course, I consider Bala an Ambazonian by birth. It doesn't mean he may not hold the same ideology that we do, but he remains an Ambazonian. But this is what is going on, ladies and gentlemen. You listen there. I like us to listen to that, what they were saying there. Let's listen to it again.
The search of the solution. Yeah. We are Cameroonian. This is our nation. This is the only area that we can claim to be home. And this is our home. And we have to take care of it. There are some problem, no problem. We have to brainstorm. We have to sit around the table, listen to each other. We can disagree or agree, it doesn't matter. The fact that we can meet, sit together, and have each of us express himself freely. This is a big blessing.
That's true, very important.
And as I said, this is home. We will never accept the destruction of the home.
I agree with you.
All right. If you listen to Isai Chiroma, he is saying, this is home. La Republic is home. We will sit down on the table and talk everything. Nothing should be a taboo. Nothing should be a taboo. Now, you all will recall that this is Isai Chiroma, who until about a week or 2 weeks ago was a minister under the regime, the Cameroon regime, probably for the past 3 decades. At least 30 years he served in that administration. And you will all recall he was the one who went out and said, no, there are no killings in the southern Cameroons. There are no killings in Anglophone regions. Everything is okay. Now he has pulled out of the ruling regime, and he is now planning to stand election, hoping to become president of La République du Cameroon. And he is trying to convince everybody. Again, I've spoken to him like 3 times, and he is trying to convince everybody that under his regime, he is going to bring everybody onto the round table, and the form of state will be decided. The form of state will be decided when, after he wins the election, invite everybody, we sit together. This is our home, one and indivisible Cameroon, he says. And Bala is saying yes and saying his point. Now, I like us to look at it this way, because there is also another memo. There is a memo out there making the rounds in the social media, written by Betua somebody. He is a Francophone, La Republican citizen activist who is a staunch anti-regime, anti-La République du Cameroon's regime. I believe that if you have read what is sent out, Betua is essentially pleading to Ambazonia restoration fighters and to Ambazonian independent leaders as a whole to open the territory for elections to take place on October 12th. As you know, Cameroon has declared the elections for October 12th, and Paul Biya has also announced once more at 93 years old, he will be running again for president. Now, I can see all the other political candidates out there making noise, the kind of noise you would expect Omar, what is that guy in Gabon? Ali Bongo, the kind of noise that Ali Bongo will ask out there. All these Cameroon opposition politicians are out there asking, making some noise, showing their faces and talking about running for president in La République du Cameroon. Now, they want us to believe they all have a solution to the conflict. And so, Betua, I've forgotten the other name, but I know the other name is the last name is Betua, a French activist. He is very popular on the social media, very anti-regime in La République du Cameroon. He is suggesting that Ambazonians open up. We open up the territory. There should be no lockdown. We should not stop people from voting because we finally got an opportunity to remove the regime in La République du Cameroon, and then we can then sit down, talk to these new leaders, this opposition, because they are ready, they say. They are ready. Their opposition, they say, is ready to talk with Ambazonia. Well, I have spoken with quite a number of Ambazonians, and of course, most of them are very much La République leaning. And one of them actually called me and said to me, Chris, I read this man's article. In fact, he forwarded it to me. This is a very influential personality I'm talking about. He forwarded the article to me and said, Chris, I thought this is a great idea. This guy, this Francophone guy, has a great idea. This is an opportunity, he said, for Ambazonians. Just open the territory. Let's vote. Because if you don't do that, they said, La République du Cameroon, the CPDM will claim all the vote in Ambazonia. I said, oh, is it for real? He said, yes. Because if these other people, Kamto, Chiroma, Joshua Ossi, Libby, and all of them, if they win, let's open the territory, vote for them, let them win, and then we can sit down and talk with them. I said, oh, for real? He said, yes. He said, that is the best way to handle this. I said, okay. But ladies and gentlemen, I will come back in another show to talk particularly about this subject of Cameroon elections. But let me say this for the moment. There is no way elections can take place in Ambazonia. Cameroon's elections can take place in Ambazonia. There is just no way to it. I don't care which angel is in their opposition who thinks that he's got a solution to this conflict. And if you are from La République du Cameroon, I'd like you to listen to me and maybe pass the message over to them. Let them know there is no circumstances under which the territory that is known as the Federal Republic of Ambazonia can be opened up for a foreign election. It appears like these people just have not learned. They are not listening. They are not watching. They are not seeing. They still have not come to the terms that Ambazonia is gone. They still have not come to terms with the fact that Ambazonia is now an independent territory and that Cameroon is trying to encroach. We have stopped all their 11 Februaries. We have stopped all their 20th Mays. We have stopped everything they want to reorganize in our territory. And even parts of our territory that used to have their administrators, like consider all of the BLM County. La République has nothing there. That is considered progress. Why are we then going to open up the territory for La République to come and conduct a presidential election in a territory we do not consider to be theirs? We cannot do that. But let me say this to all La République du Cameroon politicians, opposition leaders who are out there believing that they have the key, they have the solution to this conflict. I have heard, and you guys have heard, Isai Chiroma talked about a referendum. I was like, wow, what a great idea. Now they stole this from us. You guys remember, I brought the question of a referendum to this struggle, and I said, let them bring a referendum. Thank God they are beginning to speak our language. We don't know what kind of referendum they are talking about, but at least they are beginning to speak our language, and we can't wait to see what kind of referendum they are referring to. But ladies and gentlemen, this is my problem with what they are trying to address as far as this conflict is concerned. If Cameroon politicians who aspire to be the next president of La République du Cameroon are really serious with resolving the conflict in Ambazonia, how about you consider this? How about you consider this? How about all of you, come together, invite Ambazonian leaders, every stakeholder, important stakeholder in Ambazonia. We sit on a round table, and each one of you tell us exactly what form of state you want to have in one and indivisible Cameroon. We would like to have that. We would like to have that meeting with you. If all of you, excluding nobody, because every one of you claim to have a solution to the 9-year-old conflict. If you guys are really serious and you can come, sit down, we all sit in a round table, tell us what you can do. And then you agree to do it, to do it before the election, which means all of you call for a postponement of the election. You all call for a postponement of the election and call for an immediate solution to the Ambazonian conflict before the election, so that when you are going into the election, we know exactly what form of state Ambazonia is voting for, right? That would make some sense. But if you think that we will open the territory after you are elected, and then you have the ears of the French and not the ears of Ambazonians, we've saw that again and again and again. It is not going to happen. It is not going to happen. Because, comrades, I'm speaking now to all of you on the ground in Ambazonia. You should not be fooled by the fact that, oh, just elect me and, I will solve this problem. I will end this conflict. There are empty promises. We know that the public politicians are vipers. Yeah. Because the moment they win, if you vote them to expect them to go and solve your problem, I bet you the moment they win and get over there, after all, they have won. What is going to motivate them to come solving the problem? The French will tell them, in other words, France will tell them, just keep on with a military solution. Kill them until they surrender. Crush them until they surrender. And he will say his hands are tied. He will say his hands are tied. So, ladies and gentlemen, we should not allow people like the Chiromas, the Agobalas come and tell us we have a chance in this election. Let's open up the territory and go and vote for them. After we vote for them, then we can sit down and talk with them. Where were they for these 9 years? Where were they? Camto came to Canada. He visited Toronto. I believe it was Toronto. He refused Ambazonians activists to enter into his meeting with our national colors, blue and white, mufflers and caps. He refused them entering his meeting with it. And that is a person you think that he will become president and suddenly see into your problems? When a common muffler is so threatening to him? Of course not. Issa Chiroma is a good talker, and I like the guy. I must tell you, Issa Chiroma looked like a very harmless politician. He looked like somebody who can take me to lunch and I will go with him. But again, being a politician who has been there for 3 decades, more than 3 decades, there is nothing I can believe from his mouth, because he has been there, he has seen it, they planned this war, and they are prosecuting it. So, Ambazonians, we should not be prepared for half measures. How long have we voted? Since 1961. I saw the other day a statement from Ngute'S announcing reconstruction, the start of work in the Limbe or Victoria seaport. And I just laugh and I say, I wish our people are seeing this and understanding the manipulation, the election year manipulation they always bring to us. When the elections are close, Ngongo really wants you to believe that in 2 months, between now and October 12th, the Victoria Seaport is going to be completed, isn't it? So you should go out and vote. If you don't go out and vote, why? Is that what they want you to believe? Is that really what they want you to believe? Of course, we cannot believe that again. We believe them from 1961 to up to date, and none of their promises was fulfilled. How many of you live inside Babenda? The third largest city in the country. That is, assuming that it is part of Cameroon, right? How many of you live in Babenda and see the streets? In fact, you cannot even call them streets. The whole place, I will be coming to it. But ladies and gentlemen, I am saying this to say to you, if you are Ambazonian there, back at home in Ambazonia, know that nothing like La République du Cameroon elections taking place in Ambazonia. The territory will be shut down for a long time. All of you in Ambazonia should expect a long shutdown, a long lockdown of Ambazonia. Nothing will move, not even Okada. The borders will be shut down. Nothing enters, nothing goes out. It is going to be one of the severest lockdowns that we have had in Ambazonia to send a message to the world. Cameroon says normalcy is here. We are going to tell the world normalcy is nowhere to be found in Ambazonia. So get ready. We will shut down Ambazonian territory within the week of their so-called elections. Start preparing for that lockdown. I will be right back. And when I get back, I will take you to my main subject of the day, which is the fraud. The fraud that is the so-called United Nations Development Program, UNDP. Don't go away.
ABS can help you reach your target audience like never before. Advertising on ABS, you'll benefit from our extensive reach and dedicated viewership. We offer special advertising packages during primetime slots and popular shows. You'll also be featured on our social media platforms, reaching an even wider audience. Don't miss out on this opportunity. Take your business to the next level. Contact our advertising team at absafricativa@gmail.com.
Thrive America, the flagship model, offers personalized coaching and assistance to newly arrived individuals into the country through a concierge service and one-stop resource on your phone. The app supports essential areas of integration, such as job search strategies, benefits applications, financial literacy, credit repair, legal guidance, and more. The platform aims to become the go-to resource as you navigate the complexities of settling into a new country.
I have to start by saying that I'm completely just shocked by the state of the roads in Bamenda. First point, I've said roads, and so I'm going to talk about roads. And I think that what is wrong with roads? What is wrong with roads? I'll say that let us not make promises which we cannot fulfill. That is going to give us a very promise short, even for 1 month, 2 months, you do what you do and the population is going to see that you have done just what you can do within that period. Let's not make some highfalutin points and then it turns out that we cannot. Or if you say that I'm going to fix, if the people cry and will say we are going to fix this road for you, you fix it and after 1 month everything is washed out. That's what I'm saying. Let's not say what we cannot do. Let's say what we can do. And as far as the schools are concerned, there is no myth here. I'm talking right here. I started talking with my people this morning. And we have so many schools that have been shut down. We can see the population, and we can see the population here. We can work out and find out where those children are. We have to see what the brain drain is doing to our populations. And you know that the young children are being taken over also to work other things. Nursing, they go and take care of children and all of that. So there is a way of finding.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, I will come back to that. I will come back to that because that is related to the next story that I bring to you in my monologue talking about the UNDP and the Bamenda Stadium construction. The UNDP and the Bamenda Stadium construction. You can find the images of that stadium right there on your screen. I will take you into my monologue and expose the fraud and the shame that is so-called the Bamenda Stadium. This is very important because you have the United Nations. The United Nations, that's supposed to be a neutral organization involved in that fraud. In an era where global institutions are expected to uphold neutrality, promote justice, and stand with the oppressed, the United Nations Development Programme, UNDP, has chosen a different path in the southern Cameroons. It has opted for complicity over conscience, convenience over credibility. What should have been a development partner has instead become a key player in a propaganda machine that seeks to erase a conflict without resolving it, without solving it. On May 5, 2020, amid a still raging armed conflict in the southern Cameroons, now widely known as Ambazonia, the United Nations Development Programme signed a financing agreement with the government of La République du Cameroon to launch what they called the Presidential Plan for the Reconstruction and Development of the Northwest and the Southwest, that is referring to the territory we refer to as the Federal Republic of Ambazonia. This agreement outlined a budget of nearly 90 billion CFA francs, that is roughly 159 million US dollars. Yaoundé would provide a nominal 10%, and the remainder was expected from development partners under the UNDP coordination. At first, this initiative was framed as a peace gesture, a blueprint for healing war-torn communities in the southern Cameroon, Ambazonia. But behind the veil of noble intentions lies a disturbing truth. The UNDP's involvement in this project is not only premature and ill-conceived, it is profoundly unethical. The plan's fatal flaw lies not just in its questionable timing, so-called reconstruction efforts launched in the midst of an ongoing war, but in its total refusal to engage with the root causes of the conflict. Nowhere in the so-called Presidential Development Plan documentation is there mention of the forced assimilation. Nothing mentioned about political marginalization or the constitutional violations that triggered the Ambazonian quest for self-determination in the first place. Nowhere is there acknowledgement of the indiscriminate killings by La République du Cameroun, the mass displacement or destruction of entire communities by the La République du Cameroon's security forces. Instead of confronting these hard truths, the United Nations Development Programme chose to align itself with a government whose legitimacy in the southern Cameroons has completely collapsed. In doing so, the UNDP has not only betrayed the people it claims to serve, but has undermined any prospects for genuine reconciliation or sustainable peace. The clearest example, ladies and gentlemen, of this betrayal by the UNDP can be found in Bamenda. The pictures on your screen tell the story, where the so-called development plan completed what it claims as a major milestone, the construction of a football stadium. It was unveiled with fanfare during a recent visit by Dion Ngute'S, not John, as a sign that so-called reconstruction is underway. But what stands in Bamenda today, as you see, is not a stadium. It is a monument to corruption and international complicity. The project's total cost, that stadium cost, is reported at 1.24 billion francs CFA, approximately 1.7 million US dollars. The UNDP contributed a staggering $1.3 million for that project, the stadium project, and the Cameroonian government and the Bamenda One Council providing the remainder. And yet, what that money has produced defies logic and decency. A poorly fenced field with substandard synthetic turf, no public seating, no functional locker rooms, and shockingly, not even field markings. The center circle, the goal, and the penalty areas, none are visible or visibly demarcated. It is by every measure a disgrace. Permit me to pose this question, this necessary question. Does this structure or stadium remotely resemble a $1.7 million facility? And if it doesn't, and it clearly does not, then another question must follow. Is the UNDP enabling fraud and embezzlement under the guise of humanitarian development? The answer is probably yes. The absurdity deepens when one considers the justification. This was supposed to contribute to the revitalization of the local economy, one of the so-called development plans. But how does a football field, barely functional, which will be rarely used, ladies and gentlemen, contribute to economic growth in a city where roads are impassable, markets are shuttered, and thousands still live in fear or displacement? How does it make sense to prioritize synthetic turf over the reconstruction of destroyed clinics, hospitals, schools, and homes? The conclusion is inescapable. The United Nations Development Program is not building the southern Cameroons. It is rebuilding the narrative of a regime that is desperate to appear legitimate. Its role has shifted from neutral actor to active enabler, from facilitator of development and progress to apologist for a failing state, a failing regime. That's what the UNDP has become. This is not development, it is deception. Even members of the regime, like Higher Education Minister Nalova Lionga, as you heard her in Bamenda, ladies and gentlemen, have publicly expressed indignation, shock at the appalling state of Bamenda's infrastructure, roads in particular. When even Yaoundé's loyalists can no longer deny the rot, how can the UNDP justify pouring $1.7 million in an empty cosmetics project like the stadium you find there? The actions of the UNDP in the southern Cameroons represent not merely a policy miscalculation, but an ethical collapse. The UNDP's silence on the underlying injustice, on the state of violence, the war crimes, The continued military occupation of Ambazonia makes it an accomplice, not a peacemaker. The presence of the UNDP in Ambazonia legitimizes the false narrative that peace has returned and reconstruction can now proceed, even as the guns still fire and the prisons still feed up. Let it be known, there can be no reconstruction so-called without justice. There can be no peace without truth. And there can be no development. Why the people of the Southern Cameroons are denied their right to self-determination. For these reasons, the United Nations Development Program's so-called reconstruction program must be firmly rejected by every conscious Ambazonian. It is not a neutral initiative. It is a political tool disguised as humanitarian aid. It is a pipeline through which international money is siphoned to launder the crimes of the regime in Yaoundé. It is an insult to those who have lost their lives and a betrayal of those still fighting for a future free from domination and deceit. There will come a time, a moment to rebuild, but it will be when the war has ended, when the regime's atrocities have been accounted for, and when the people of Ambazonia are free to shape their own destiny. Until then, the United Nations Development Program is unwelcome in Ambazonia. Its projects are not solutions. They are smoke screens. Its presence in Ambazonia is not humanitarian. It is hostile. That means hostility against the people of Ambazonia. The UNDP must be held to account. Its rule must be exposed, and the people of Ambazonia must never forget the price of silence, nor the power of resistance. And that is my monologue for you today. I will be right back, ladies and gentlemen, to continue with this subject. Stay put.
Thrive America, the flagship model, offers personalized coaching and assistance to newly arrived individuals into the country through a concierge service and one-stop resource on your phone. The app supports essential areas of integration, such as job search strategies, benefits applications, financial literacy, credit repair, legal guidance, and more. The platform aims to become the go-to resource as you navigate the complexities of settling into a new country.
Are you planning a convention for your cultural or development association this summer? Let the world see it live. ABS Africa TV will bring your story straight from the diaspora to your villages and towns, so your people back home can experience every dance, every speech, and every proud moment as it happens. With professional coverage, global broadcast reach, and real-time streaming, ABS TV turns your event into a celebration that transcends borders. Don't let your hard work go unseen. Put your convention on the map. For booking and inquiries, please email us at absafricatv@gmail.com. Again, absafricatv@gmail.com. Or for WhatsApp purposes, send us a text at the number 346-504-3666. ABS Africa TV. We are bridging culture and connecting generations. All right, ladies and gentlemen, thank you for staying put out there. Now, let me take you again to the subject of this monologue. The subject of this monologue that is meant to expose what the UNDP is doing in Ambazonia. Which I consider a mere facilitation for a lot of people to Cameroon to resume legitimacy over our territory, over Ambazonia. Now, I'd like you to take a look at these images that I am going to show you. Now, this image, ladies and gentlemen, that you see in front of you, that is what was conceived to be the stadium they were going to construct in Bamenda. Again, that is what they told us was going to be the stadium to be built in Bamenda. Now, when you look at the image that I just showed you during my monologue, do you see that thing anywhere close to what you find on your screen? Is it anywhere? Now, compare this, what do they call it again? Compare this coach that they made to the Re Stadium. Now look at the Re Stadium. Look, that is what they have for us. That is a stadium they said they built at the cost of 1 billion or 1.2 billion. 1.2 billion. And that is a stadium that Dion Ngute'S. Listen, gentlemen, look at the background of that. Those are the only chairs. Those red chairs. Those are the only chairs in that stadium. Those are the only chairs. Look at it. You can see the beginning of construction there, where they put those red chairs. That is it now. You see the red chairs are there now. Now, again, those are the only chairs that you find in that stadium. You see, the stadium has no markings, nothing. And that grass, that synthetic grass they have on the ground, will go back in a matter of months. In a matter of months. Even the current Bamenda Stadium, Mancon Stadium, they call it, you will agree with me, is better than what you see here, than what you witness here now. The current Bamenda Stadium is better than this. It is better than this. Yet, we are being told it costed it took them 1.2 billion. 1.2 billion to construct the fence and put that synthetic grass that you are seeing there, ladies and gentlemen. The most troublesome thing is that this was again done by the UNDP. It was done by the UNDP, United Nations so-called development program. United Nations so-called development program. They actually put in $1.3 million. The UNDP put on that so-called stadium $1.3 million. The Cameroon government put in, I think, 790,000 million. Am I correct? Yes, millions. 790,000 million from the Cameroon government. Then Bamenda One Council put in 65 million. Now, honestly, every one of you will agree with me that what you see there on your screen called stadium, even 65 million is too much for what you find there. 65 million is a lot of money if they were using just that for what you see there called a stadium, talk less of 1.2 billion francs CFA, translated to the dollars to be $1.7 million, ladies and gentlemen. But again, this is the point. The point is, this is not done by the Cameroon government. The UNDP, United Nations Development Program, want us to believe they spend 1.2 billion CFA francs for that fence you see there. A stadium without chairs, a stadium without sitting, a stadium without a dressing room. They call it a stadium. All we have there is a fence. All we have there is a fence. I hope some people will begin to ask questions. You spend 1.2 billion CFA on this thing you see here? But this is another point, ladies and gentlemen. I'd like you to compare this. I don't want to compare this stadium to the one in Douala, to the one in Yaoundé. Of course, we know they will never do that, not anywhere in Ambazonia. But I don't even think, look at the stadium in I am told that this stadium that you are seeing here, that is Victoria's Community Stadium. This is Victoria Community Stadium. At least it looks like a stadium. You can see the seating. You can see that it really looks like a stadium, though in the very modest way. Now, what you are seeing there is Boya Moliko Stadium. At least this looks like a stadium. I'm told this is the Centenary Stadium in Victoria. It looks like a stadium. At least it has some sitting, has some dressing rooms. How do we call Bamenda a stadium? And there is no single seat, there is no single dress. All we have there is a fence. And all we have there is a fence, ladies and gentlemen. All we have in Bamenda is a fence. Take a look at it again. That is it. That is the Bamenda Stadium. Do you see anything in that stadium other than a fence? There is nothing. And yet, how much did they spend on it? They spent 1.2 billion CFA. I am going to make sure a copy of this monologue gets into the hands of UNDP officials, because if this is not fraud, I don't know what it is. And these are the organizations that we go about telling the international community how fraudulent and corrupt African governments are. Yet they are the ones perpetuating the fraud. They are the ones perpetuating the fraud. That is the work of the UNDP, ladies and gentlemen. But this is the point that I want to make. Just think about it. You heard their Minister of National Education, Nalova Lionga, lamenting. I don't know when last he was in Bamenda, but the lady was shocked. The lady was shocked to be in Bamenda and see the state of roads and the streets in Bamenda. And if a La Republique minister would open her voice to voice her frustration and anger at the state of roads in Bamenda, you know they never talk, right? For as long as they are eating, they are never worried. They don't care whether you eat or not. But at least this time, she couldn't hold it. Let's listen to Nalova Lionga again on the state of roads in Bamenda, please. Put on that video there.
I have to start by saying that I'm completely just shocked by the state of the roads in Bamenda. First point, I've said roads, and so I'm going to talk about roads. And I think that what is wrong with roads? What is wrong with roads? I'll say that let us not make promises which we cannot fulfill. That is going to give us a very short, even for 1 month, 2 months, you do what you do and the population is going to see that you have done just what you can do within that period. Let's not make some highfalutin points and then it turns out that we cannot. Or if you say that I'm going to fix, if the people cry and will say we are going to fix this road for you, you fix it, and after 1 month everything is washed out. That's what I'm saying. Let's not say what we cannot do. Let's say what we can do.
Yes.
And as far as the schools are concerned,
let's not say what we cannot do, let's say what we can do. And if you make these roads, you make them in the condition that at least they can last. That is Nalova Leonga, essentially indicting the regime for unfulfilled promises. But this is the point I like to make. Ladies and gentlemen, can you imagine how many streets in Bamenda, 1.2 billion, not million CFA. How many roads in the city of Bamenda that money could have fixed, could have repaired? The UNDP took it and put it in a fence. A fence. The UNDP took the money and invested in this fence. That is a fence. 1.2 billion CFA francs could tar almost all the streets inside Bamenda. But it went to a fence. That fence is not worth 20 million CFA francs. But we are told they poured billions into it. And that is what is wrong with these so-called international organizations and this government's fraudulent government in La République du Cameroon. Ambazonians, we cannot continue to tolerate this. We cannot continue to tolerate this. Now look at the stadium in Bafoussam. Take a look. That is a Bafoussam stadium. Doesn't that look like a stadium? Does Bamenda Stadium look like one? Of course, it looks like a fence. That is Bafoussam Stadium. Where is the Bamenda Stadium? Look at the Bamenda Stadium. That is the Bamenda Stadium there, ladies and gentlemen. Now take a look at the Bamenda Stadium. That is it. And the Prime Minister came all the way from Yaoundé to launch the stadium. That is it. That is it. Bamenda Stadium. Bamenda Stadium. Well, I'm going to leave the matter there. I hope I've made the point, and I hope that this means something to all of you in Ambazonia, because if we think that we will surrender and give up on our struggle, then we have not seen anything. We have not seen anything. I remember Ito was all over the place with, we are building a modern stadium in Bamenda that can host international matches. That so-called stadium in Bamenda would not even be good for a training field. It would not be good for a practice field. That is it. That is it. Well, ladies and gentlemen, I will open the phone lines. You go ahead and call and contribute. And while you do so, I just want you to know, for those of you on Ground Zero, that ABS is still not on satellite. We receive your messages asking about what is happening to ABS. I want you to know ABS is still not on satellite, but I promise you, ABS will be back on satellite 1st of August. 1st of August. In the meantime, I am asking Ambazonians in the diaspora, those who believe that ABS remains the voice of Ambazonia, to please join the ABS Support Club. We call it ABS 25 supporters. ABS 25 supporters. I think we've gotten more than 15 people already to join the club. We just need, I think, about 10 or 9 more to make that list complete. And I know there are some of you out there who are capable of committing to $100 a month for ABS. If we do that, ABS will never go off satellite, and Ground Zero will have it all the time. You do not know, you just do not know the level of messages and calls that we're getting from Ground Zero nowadays, asking what is happening to ABS. Please, there are a few of you, we're just looking for 25 of you who would say, I will commit to $100 a month to make sure that ABS stays on satellite. If you're one of those out there, you want to do that, please, using the number on your screen, send a WhatsApp message, let me know, and we will contact you after. Or you can call right now and let me know you want to be part of that club, the ABS 25 Supporters Club. That is the name of the club. So, but send a message or call that number you find on your screen and declare your intentions to be part of the club to keep ABS live and kicking. All right. And when ABS resumes by August the 1st, I will have some very special news, special announcement to make for our audiences in all of Africa. Going to be very, very important and exciting news. So the phone line is open. Go ahead and call if you want to contribute to the show. You want to contribute. You want to support ABS. You want to contribute, or you want to make a contribution to the show. Go ahead and call. Go ahead and call. I see some people have been trying to call. Great outing, Comrade Chris. Very impactful outing, and we all are watching. Thank you, sir. Thank you. Again, the phone line is open. Go ahead and call. Now, somebody just sent this to me from La République du Cameroon. Prayers alert. Prayers alert. On July 18, he says, 19 and 2025, the Rosicrucian Order of the Cross and Stars, AMOC, is organizing a Central African Convention at the Congress Hall in Yaoundé. This is no mean event because it has to do with the upcoming presidential elections. The stakes are so high for the enemy camp that their Grand Master himself, Claudio Mazuco will be in Cameroon for the occasion. Please kindly pray for our country. Okay, well, my country is not Cameroon. You can pray for Ambazonia. All right. Hello.
Hello. Good evening, Mr.
Good evening, sir. Where are you calling from, please?
I'm calling from Equatorial Guinea.
From Equatorial Guinea. Okay. What is on your mind, sir?
I just want me to talk in pidgin English.
That is fine. That is fine. Go on.
Yes, I just want to appreciate you for the good work that you are doing. We pray God the Almighty may make people where may that 25 people may the resource that we get we always get ABS on satellite. I used to follow ABS at any time. I'm following by way of Facebook.
Okay.
So I just want to appreciate for the good job doing, and my contribution is concerned.
Okay, I think there's a bad connection there. We hear you. Thank you for watching and asking for support for ABS. Thank you. The line is free, so go ahead and and call, please. Go ahead and call. I saw some people were trying to call. Hello.
Hello.
Hello, sir. Where are you calling from, please?
Peter John, calling from Russia.
Calling from Russia with a German number?
Yeah.
All right. What is on your mind, sir?
Sir, where are you calling from, please? Hello, can you hear me?
Turn down the volume on your set, please. Because I hear myself repeating in the background there, it will be delayed. So focus on your phone and turn down the volume on your set. I can hear you. Hello. Okay, you can call back. When you call, before you call, turn down the volume on your set, please. Hello. The phone line is open. Go ahead and call. Let me know what is on your mind. All right. I would say in the absence of any callers, I will have to call it a night. Again, I really want to make this a very important appeal. ABS needs your support. We are looking for 25 Ambazonians or supporters, irrespective of where you may be, for as long as you are able to make a PayPal payment, a Zelle or Cash App to join the club. Again, we've gotten about 15 or 16 people already. We just need 9 more people to join the club and take up a responsibility of $100 a month to keep ABS on satellite. If you really appreciate what we've been able to do with ABS for this Ambazonian struggle, this would be the moment for you to stand up and support it. Let me see. Hello. Okay, I lost that caller. I am looking for someone with whom we can contribute 50-50. All right. You look for it in your area. This caller message is coming from London. If you can get somebody in your area with whom you can contribute 50-50, that will be appreciated and you will be welcome. All right. So thank you for that. Thank you for that. So please, let's get this television streaming back home, all of Africa, but most particularly to Ambazonia, for the people, so they can remain updated with what is happening here. Hello.
Hello.
Hello, sir. This must be Dr. Metuge.
Yeah, Dr. Metuge. Yeah, I want to talk about the investment and the misappropriation of funds within the La Republic system. UNDP is, remember in Yaoundé, everybody working there is a francophone.
Right.
And investment and misappropriation of funds is an endemic within their blood. It is a system which they all, like they were born within it. So they will always embezzle. It is what? Always embezzle. So we should not be surprised that that amount is so much the way it is out there.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, that stadium, as you see it, that stadium is not even worth 65 million. That is money that...
No, it's not
that is money
I
that...
remember I was doing a quotation.
Yeah, yeah.
The stadium there in Guinea. It wasn't that, I mean...
that stadium will not even cost 65 million. That is money that the Bamenda One Council alone would have provided. And by the way, what is the UNDP doing with stadiums? Building stadiums. Those are supposed to be community projects.
That is it. The other thing is about Abobala and Shiruma. Abobala is lobbying for his position. He looks so selfish in his doing his act. So Abobala should just be watching him, seeing what will come out from his lobby.
All right. Thank you for the call.
Welcome.
Okay. In the absence of any other calls, I will be heading out, and I hope to be back. One more time before ABS is back. Thank you for being part of the show today. I look forward to coming back again soon. Good night.
Thank you.